I want you to hit pause right now and think about 3 new things that you've tried out recently. Okay, so now you've done a bit of self-reflection. Let me tell you why it's important to do that quite regularly. Dear fellow citizens of the world, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I'm a career coach, and today I want to share with you 3 things that I've tried out recently and that could pertain to you as well. So why is it important to try out new things? Because the lessons learned from trying out new things help you redefine your life. They help you experience, experiment, and see life from different angles and different perspectives. And the more you try out new things, the more adaptable and flexible you are in your life, in any aspects of your life for that matter. I usually do a monthly review, which means at the end of each month, I just look back and see what I've done, what I should have done, and what new things I've tried. And I make sure that every month there's at least 1, 2, maybe 3 things that I've tried, never done before, just to make sure I stay curious and on track with my life. So the first thing is putting myself in a spotlight. And right now, this is happening, right? You're watching this video, and this is something I just started trying out. And I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. And the goal of this is really a personal challenge, as I mentioned before. But putting myself in the spotlight means different things. It forces me to sit down and to kind of stage the atmosphere, the environment, right? And so I sit down and I try to express myself as naturally as possible, which is, by the way, very difficult in front of a tiny camera. And then I edit those videos. And when I edit them, I have to sit down again and look at myself for 15, 20, 25 minutes because it needs to be trimmed down. And it's just excruciating to do. It is just painful because I don't know about you, but if people record videos of you for vacation, like birthday parties, and then you watch yourself from far, you want to avoid the image. You want to avoid the video altogether because we don't like to watch ourselves on the camera. We don't like to hear our own voices. So what I've tried to do and what I'm trying to do right now is to be able to sit comfortably, watch myself, and embrace who I am, how people perceive me from the outside, and what kind of image and demeanor attitude I project onto other people. And when I edit those videos, which is cool, is that because it doesn't sound so natural sometimes, because I'm struggling to find my words, express my ideas, the editing helps. And what happens during editing is that I try my best to make it sound like the real me in real life, which is a bit tricky, but I get to set my pace, I get to set my tone, and then I try to make sure it's pretty realistic. So trying this out first is putting myself in the spotlight and trying to understand how people perceive me and how I project my image. So for you, what it means is to be self-aware. In any kind of situations, try to understand how people see you from outside. What kind of demeanor do you have? What kind of attitude do you project onto the world? And be more aware of that as you go. That would be one thing to try. And being more self-aware means being more confident in who you are. I created systems this month that I had never tried before. So I guess like many of you, I used to set goals, which were daily, weekly. And then at some point I realized it was not really efficient. I would see the list getting longer, goals accumulating, and I was struggling to understand why I could not achieve it, most of the goals, or at least a big chunk of them. And so I decided to change it completely. Instead of setting weekly or daily goals, I decided to create a system whereby each day is dedicated to one specific activity. So it could be on Monday mornings, for example, I'm shooting videos, I'm editing. On Tuesday, it's more geared towards business development. On Wednesdays, it's more about like writing, creating, or researching things. And then, every slot or every half day is dedicated to something. And for now, it's the same every week, meaning that I don't even need to question what I need to do. It's already there as a recurring slot in my calendar. Therefore, it removes the burden of overthinking of what to do, especially if I'm not in the mood of doing it, trying to waste time on social media and trying to stall myself. I just look at it and get going. And that really helps compared to the previous method I was using. And the last thing I tried this month, which is pretty cool, I decided to join more communities, more groups, because when you work alone, some of you may know that, and especially these days, we are mostly at home for work. It is hard sometimes to get validation, to get ideas flowing because you're by yourself. And when I'm by myself, it is hard sometimes to know if I'm going the right direction, if I'm using my time efficiently, if I'm getting the correct ideas that I should be implementing. And therefore, these groups, the support community, support groups, help me get my ideas out there and kind of validate them. I even installed Clubhouse on my phone. I've been listening quite a few times, not kind of participating a bit, but I'm not quite sure how to use it extensively. Yet this is still a good way to reach out, try to communicate with more people instead of just me being by myself behind the computer. So what are the takeaways from trying out new things, and including the last three things you've tried and I've tried? Well, the first one is things always look more frightening when you imagine them. Before starting this YouTube channel, it just looked overwhelming. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't know how capable I was to be on camera, to try to edit videos, and it felt like unachievable. And then when I just started watching more people do it, I started doing a bit more each and every time. Actually, it's so manageable. I mean, the recording doesn't take me a whole day like I originally thought. It took me maybe an hour or two. Editing maybe a bit longer, but eventually it was much, much more scary when I was thinking about it rather than now being in this chair and talking to you. Sometimes trying out new things are not a goal in themselves. They can become a tool, they can become a process, they can become something that help you along the way. So the system I created is a tool. It really helps me get out of a rut. Whenever I feel unmotivated, I feel uninspired, I don't need to think. I just look at what I'm supposed to do and then do it. When you try out new things, again, it gives you new perspectives on life. You look at it differently from a different angle, and you realize more things about yourself. What do I like? What do I dislike? What can I do? What can I not do? And this is the point, trying different things out and see what works for you and what doesn't. So tell me, what have you tried recently that you had never tried before? How did you approach it? And how did you enjoy or dislike the process? Let me know about your experience. I would really love to know. I'm curious to see what kind of new things you've tried before. Thanks a lot for watching this video. And remember, experience, experiment, make the journey count. See you in the next video.